Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays. Great time with your loved ones and family. And yeah, honestly, it's pretty funny how going on social media and talking about setting yourself up for 2026 for the new year, and how things came across on a 9 year cycle. And I was just like, what's the 9 year cycle? So I started listening to more people, to more creators about what the 9 year cycle is and what it entails. I was like, okay, so 2017 was the start. 25 is the coming to the terms of the for the ninth year, and 2026 is going to be year one. So I'm born in 1982, so that's I'm also Chinese and First Nations. So 82 is Year of the Dog, and yeah. So and also the what you call it? So Year of the Dog, and right now, so 2025, is finishing up Year of the Snake, and talking or listening to other creators talking about how we're approaching the end of the cycle within 2025. And I looked into more, like, okay, well, I was listening to podcasts, and they were saying, okay, well, what was happening in 2016 and 2017, 8 9 years ago, or 8 years ago. And during 2000, I was looking back on Google, my Google Photos, and seeing the timestamps of everything, and looking back and reflecting on what was happening during that time. But yeah, in 2016, that was the so 10 years ago, I was training out of my apartment after I left a big box gym. And I got really busy, and I had like maybe like 6 7 clients a day, and I was there for maybe 2 3 years ish. So I know you keep bringing in all these people, all these clients, or all these, working with clients one on one and everything. You can't really do that. It's a residential apartment, not commercial. You're gonna have to stop doing this. You have to start trading clients out of here. And yeah. So anyways, just thinking back of 2015 and then 2016, I went to this other big box gym, and I rented space. I had a brand new gym. They asked me to come out to their gym, as they were going to allow external trainers to rent gym space out of their facility. And I was the first external trainer to rent space there. Anyways, 2016, solid year, wicked training, renting space at this one gym. All my clients are there, working at multiple other gyms for fitness classes, and also in I think another Yaletown gym I was working out of. Yeah, so I was all over the map, all over the fitness map on that one during that time. And it gave me the confidence. 2010, that's when I started in personal training. So that was 2015, 16, so 6 years of training. And yeah, so approaching the end of 2016, I also attended, I believe it was called Aboriginal Best. It was a business plan course development workshop, I guess. Kind of, I've always wanted to have my own dojo and have my own gym. So like, I was going through this class and to develop the business plan, the legalities of everything, if I said that correctly. And it definitely gave me that mindset of, okay, let's get into that business focus and work towards getting my own gym. And 2000, yeah, so going into 2017, I had, looking for spaces and all that stuff. And that's 2017 was the that was the first part of the year one for Fighter Fit Athletics, and having the gym and going through all the lessons and successes and setbacks from that. So it's just kind of cool, like looking back at how far you've come in your journey of either family, work, career, self development. Once you look back at the previous task, or how far you've come, or in the sense of how far you should have, but how far you could have went. And yeah, it was just great to have access to social media and to other people who are sharing their experiences and their insight and knowledge of numerology. Like, I have no clue about it. Like, I've never never dawned on. I never even thought of what it meant or what it can entail, for my life. So when I was looking into it from 2017 till now, and looking back at 2025, this past year, thankfully I had, thankfully my family, they invited me they moved to the Cayman Islands, yeah, last year or so. And so this time last year in November, I think I went for the first trip. And it was great just because, it's been a definitely challenging since closing down the gym and then going through, of course, going through the C word, and then trying to work with a couple of gyms in the past couple of years, and just not really gaining the traction that I was working towards. Well, I never did anything. I just focused on work. Thankfully having my family invite me to the Cayman Islands to finally, to have that break from that constant strive to improve my work and to get back everything. It was good to have that mental break to go out of the city and to away from certain things and certain influences, and to really take a step outside of the circle that I was in, and to look, really fine tune, okay, what's going to work, being a personal trainer for X amount of years, and, trying to work with, this gym for the past 3-4 years. And, it wasn't, something needs to change. Something needs to be addressed. And I can't be, you know, in the circle of it all. I had to step out of it and take a look in and get that eagle eye viewpoint. And being in the Cayman Islands, that the first time, it helped me out, and to visit family, and also, of course, to really think and reflect upon what I need to do for fighter fit athletics. And being during the C word, COVID, I was working towards online and how to approach or how to influence and to have a wider reach with my coaching and with the philosophy of fighter fit athletics, and to really make that impact, that positive impact for people. So I've always kind of learned. I was learning as I was trying to work with the gym here in Vancouver. Yeah, so it was the first time I went through. I shout out to the people, to other trainers in Cayman Island and to other gym owners out there. I talked with them. I trained some of their trainers, and it was great. And then coming back in and just seeing the that break, and to realize what I need to do to change for coming forward, to improve, spiritually, mentally, physically, and mentally, professionally, in this regard. It brought me out. It took me away, gave me that little breathing space to realize what I had to do, fine tune a little bit thing when I came back. And I went back three times in the past year. Each time I went back for like a month or so. But the first time was okay, personal training. Go visit family in Cayman Islands for the first trip. Come back in, a lot of negativity, a lot of burdens, more issues that came up, arose in this regard of personal training, in person, one-on-one stuff. Then I went back to Cayman Island again. Then I stepped a little more towards going towards online, looking at online coaching, looking for business coaches, seeing what they're doing and how they're approaching their online, how they're approaching. And so, hiring all these webinars, these seminars online, like signing up for their courses, of course, deep diving into their YouTube, and also to their the course material, and trying to figure that out. Because one business coach is like, well, you can either, a couple things you can do if you want to go into a new venture. You can either pay for coaching, pay what I think more like 10 grand, 13 grand for the year, or 6 months. Like, I don't have 10 grand for 13 grand for 6 months for business coaching. It's like, or you dive in on your own and you go through the material and you learn as much as you can, just like how you approach school. Or like you approach your degree or your personal training certification. It's like, okay, you know what? I don't have that 13, 15 grand. Yeah, let's deep dive into the course material, how to do it, what other coaches are doing, and listen to other sales pitches as well too. So the first trip going to Cayman Island was more personal training. How can I improve fighter athletics inside 101 in person? Negative stuff was kind of really pushing me outside of 101 stuff. Went back the second time to Cayman Island, really dive in and listen to these all 6-7 day or 6-7 hour webinars, live workshops, and just to really see the opportunity that I can actually dive into with Fighter Fit Athletics going online, and now with our day one den inside the school group. Coming back again, it definitely definitely more negative again coming back, and it just showing me that, okay, well, coming back and comparing to, like, you really got to look into this, and Ryan, take a look at it, because what is happening is, like, you keep stubbing your toe on this one situation, and you're not really addressing it, or taking it full heartedly on what it is, holding you back in. Like, okay, all right, so let's fine tune certain things, and then really dive into this direction of the Day One Den and the Fall in Love with Fitness Summit series and the online coaching. And so that was the second time. Third time going back just recently, coming back in again. And you know what? It was when I was there and listening to the other coaches and what they were doing. And one aspect was they were doing a business summit series or something like that, and they had like probably like 6 7 coaches a day talking about their specific coaching aspect in regards to leadership, business, online, casting, and all this, like all these wicked, amazing topics. So I listened to it, and then, my youth work background, I was just like, yeah, I can hold my own summit series like this and interview people and do stuff, right? The third time going visiting the Cayman Island, I was just like, what, I'm gonna hold my own summit, online summit series or summit. And then when I was in the Cayman Islands, I think it was in September, August-ish, I think. So what I wanted to do was, okay, what? Thing usually happens around my birthday. There's some sort of powerful event. So I'm like, what? On October 22nd, 2025, I'm gonna hold my first Fall in Love with Fitness Summit series. And that was on my birthday. Wicked stuff. I loved it. Loved talking to the other coaches and the positive energy that resulted from it. It gave that breath of fresh air that I definitely needed, and to see that positivity into other coaches and how the dynamic and the workflow between us and, of course, the people that were attending, and after the positive influences after the fact, and that gave me a whole new breath of fresh air and also a newfound energy towards going online. And that's what, looking back, of 2025, and coming up with the day one den, by Fighter Fit X for the school group or for the online coaching. The day one den, I talked about the naming before, but yeah, so like when I was looking back for the 2025 here, the Fighter Fit Athletics, the Fighter Fit. So the Fighter Fit, quickly recap, Fighter Fit was actually when I was working at the big box gym, my fitness manager suggested I call one of my kickboxing class Fighter Fit. Like, all right, cool, I'm down for Fighter Fit. Fighter, having that background in kickboxing, and also being fit. Having that, like I always kind of say, like, yeah, I call it Fighter Fit because you have the the fitness of a fighter, but without being a fighter. You just have the mental fortitude, and also the spirit of a fighter without actually going to a ring. So being a personal trainer, like when seeing all my clients in the past, 10 years at the time, they love the rehab, the exercise programming I had that worked with them, and it was specific for them for the fitness level. Constantly learning about how to do proper rehab or physiology, or biomechanics of certain exercises, and the tying into the Fighter Fit or the kickboxing with personal training. And so I had Fighter Fit Athletics, and I was working with with an app. So I used Fighter Fit Athletics. I worked around with the font, and then also the X as a standalone, the red X, like the Nike swoosh or the Under Armour. So I used that Fighter Fit Athletics with the X, and then have the X as a standalone. And then when I was in the Cayman Island, my family, they had there was a painting on a wall, and it was black, a little bit black, a little bit gold and gray. So I took a picture of the painting, and then I put the red X and then the day one den, and that's how that came about. So Fighter Fit Athletics, the original OG logo, it was from a gym floor, and then now the day one den logo background with the gold painting is on a painting from the Cayman Island. All right, so just tying things into the numerology and to thinking back of 2025, and kind of releasing and having new beginning for year one in 2026. So that was just a quick, somewhat of a recap, not recap, but just setting the tone for what we're going to dive into with the 9-year numerology and shedding 2025 and entering 2026 as part of the school. So yeah, just the approaching 2026, and then having, thinking back. I'm not going to go through deep dive on this one. I'll do the quick little bullet points here. But for my people in the day one den here, take a look at it, go through to kind of really approach what I want to touch base on, especially the points here, and kind of think back or think into how you can apply it to your given situation for what you want to achieve with fitness, family, health, business-wise, your career. Okay, so you want to have that balance, the four directions, or the uh, the medicine wheel approach. But yeah, she explores the numerological significance of 2025 and 2026, framing the current period as a vital transition from a cycle of completion to a new beginning. To a new beginning for 2026. As a universal 9, 2025 is described as a time for cleansing and releasing outdated habits, relationships, or career paths to prepare you for the fresh energy of the coming year. The year of completion, identified as 2025 or a universal year 9, requires individuals to actively engage in closing out the past to prepare for a new cycle. Right, so that's why I was kind of looking back at where I was in 2016, my mindset, 2017, what happened then as my year one, and of course looking through 2017 to 2025, looking at what happened, what obstacles I had to go through, the lessons that I had to learn, and also the forgiveness. I'll touch base a little more on this, but lessons I had to learn, and to make sure that when I approach 2026 on my year one, I am that much stronger and not having all this baggage behind me weighing me down. Right. So to successfully navigate this period, you must take the following specific actions. Consciously let go and surrender. The primary action required is to surrender and let go. Butcher that horribly. Sorry, give me a second here. So the primary action required is to surrender and let go. Rather than holding on to the past, you must release what no longer serves your growth. Okay, so what no longer serves your growth, which may include outdated habits, letting go of routines or behaviors that used to work but have stopped being effective. You may let go outdated habits, letting go of routines or behaviors that used to work but have stopped being effective. Another one is relationships and jobs. Accepting that old jobs may fall away or relationships may fade out as part of the transition. The past. You are advised not to drag the past with you, whereas surrendering brings freedom. Okay, so let's constantly let go and surrender. Right, so letting go of the past behaviors and actions that led me to certain points in the previous years that gave me a negative result. Right, so that person, that old Ryan, has to release those behaviors, because those behaviors will equal X, Y, and Z, which I don't want. I want A, B, and C. So I have to look back and reflect upon what I've done and what mindset I was in that space to create this outcome. Okay, well, I have to change this and that. That's what you kind of have to look at, kind of to reflect upon. Looking at outdated habits, relationships, the people that you are being influenced. Are you gonna have a working relationship where everyone contributes to the greater good of that circle or of that network, either be work, school, your social people that you hang out with. Proper safe environment where you can become this new person, where that you can blossom into the person you want to become. Okay, so that's declutter. That's relationships and jobs. So looking at what you have to want in life with reflecting on the past. Declutter and cleanse. So I had to declutter, and you have to release excess baggage to allow new positive. I don't want to say baggage, but you want to have more positive influences in your life. You have to let go of the negative, right? So if I have, what there's a good analogy was having a when you want to learn something, you have a cup, and you're not going to have more room for growth to learn and to become stronger or smarter or whatever it might be, because your teacup is already full. So you have to empty out that teacup to allow new positive things to come in. Or just like having your cell phone and your data, when you want to upgrade yourself to the new iOS or to the new version of who you want to become, you have to delete old data that is no longer providing service, or no longer providing beneficial aspects to the new person you're going to become. So declutter. Forgiveness. You must forgive what needs to be forgiven. The people, this is a touchy one, right? So you can release that pain that hurt that was inside, and writing it out, and then also burning it, safely, of course, but having that visualization, and also to voice it and to express it to the creator, and to release that, right, instead of holding it inside. So forgiveness, that's a big one. You are invited to finish unresolved matters and complete things you may have started years ago. Reflect and realign instead of rushing forward. Use this time to reflect and realign. Taking a look at what happened in 2025, what's going to happen in 2026, and making sure that everything that was holding me back, or that was preventing me of growth, I got to release that. And to enter 2026, I got to make sure, okay, what if I'm releasing these negative attributes, what positive ones are going to replace the negative? So you got to replace those Jenga pieces with positive ones, and gain clarity. Use the energy of the year to gain deep clarity on what has been holding you back. And once you settle that down, and you calm down, and you also meditate. But once you take me going to the Cayman Islands, was me allowing the water to set, so I can take a reflection from that water, but also to see what needs to be done to gain that clarity, right? So having, going for that walk, going for that run, going for the meditation or yoga, or painting. You need something to have an avenue where you can reflect and calm the mind, calm the heart, and calm the soul, so you can really dive into what you want to achieve, or to find a solution. So having that clarity, and then once you have the idea and you feel great about it, then using that passion and energy that to reignite the what you want to achieve in 2026, capitalize on that. Right? But yeah, so that was just the point. Let's see here. That was only point 1 through 3 on the post here in the Day One Den school group here. But yeah, so no, approaching 2026, the numerology of finishing up the year 9, and taking a look back. If it resonates with you, take a look back at the past 9 years. What was your year 1 in 2017, and what do you want to have? What do you want to change going into 2026 as a new chapter or a new book entirely? I came across this numerology stuff with just on social media, and when looking back, and it kind of tied in. And of course, I didn't dive into this, but 2025 was year of the snake, so shedding the negative aspect, and creating a new approach in life, or a new form, or a new heart. And 2026 is year of the horse. But yeah, so that's a lot there. Day One Den, happy holidays. Making sure that let's finish off these next couple of days of 2025 to reflect, to learn, to adapt, and to set ourselves up for success for 2026 in fitness and health, relationships, and really write it down, and really dive into this post here and the other key aspects, and how you can apply it to your situation and to your goal setting for 2026. Okay, from my heart to yours. Have a great day. Shed away, those 10 pounds that I want to lose, right? And what do I want to gain in 2026? I want to gain clarity. I want to gain confidence. I want to gain self-respect. I want to gain uh, healthy relationships where I am being heard and where I have healthy boundaries in those relationships. Cool.